Alright, so, last time on 428 Shibuya Scramble, God, I don't know. The last time I played, for those of you watching either live or on YouTube, the last time I played this game was in April of last year. So it is January of 2022 now. So it's been 7 months? No, I can count. No, that's if we had 10 months in the calendar year. 9 months. It's been about 9 months since I've played this game. I took a little bit of a look at the VOD from the last time just to see what the heck was going on, but yeah. So the basic premise of the game, to catch myself up, is that there's well, one thing was we had a whole load of characters, and we also were we had last time we had completed the 11 o'clock block for everyone, so now we're up to 12. So yeah, we had 10 bad endings so far. But yeah, so there's a kidnapping plot. There's a mascot going around just trying to get behind this crazy world we call Earth. There's this guy who's kind of a former street thug that's involved in this girl's that got involved in the kidnapping and all sorts of other things. A deadly virus going around. But yeah, so Kano is the detective, right? Achi is the street tough guy. Tama is the mascot. Osawa is the scientist whose daughter was kidnapped. Minorikawa is a journalist, and he's somehow getting involved in everything. But let's see. Yeah, he was interviewing people. Everything was starting to converge pretty wildly. It was pretty interesting. Let's see, Osawa, the last we saw him, he was just kind of sitting at home still. Tama, we had a huge gap of time. Tama finally got food, I think. That's not Tama, that's the other mascot who took her food. Let's see, Achi, I remember, was being pursued and almost shot when he was trying to run away with the girl, and so yeah, they were still running. And Kano was on the subway and maintaining pursuit, and yeah, back to Minorikawa. Okay, so I think we'll start with Kano because he's kind of the main character, but they all are. But let's see. Also, I do not remember in any way, shape, or form the voices I gave anyone. So, hello Guma, how are you doing? So, any voices you hear that are different from the last time if you're watching on YouTube, that's why. Anyway, let's get started. Kano had been watching syndicate members hand off the attaché case for an hour and a half. He still had no idea where this relay might be headed. The man he was tailing now was about 10 meters away, close enough that Kano could close the distance and apprehend him at a moment's notice. But his orders remained the same: follow and observe. Right. We were trying to figure out where this case was going. That was the money that we were going to use for the not the blackmail, the hostage money, whatever. There's a word. He watched as the case was handed off once more. By now, the shock of seeing it pass to yet another accomplice had worn off. It's already been 90 minutes, huh? Oh, it was Sasayama. At some point, he had crept up on Kano from behind. So Sasayama is kind of like our partner slash mentor who just dresses up in the most ridiculous outfits to be undercover. Very, very funny, weird character. They don't seem like they're trying to get away at all, Kano said. They're just walking. What could they be up to? Sasayama shrugged. Yeah, it's weird. Kano recalled dictum number 89. The more irrelevant something seems, the more relevant it's bound to be. Yeah, he has this little, our character Kano here has a little book with all sorts of phrases that he probably got from a fortune cookie or something. One second. Why are you calling me right after you text? Okay, I was just checking up to see if the person who was supposed to be here was here, and indeed she did not come yet, but everyone else will be home hopefully in a few minutes, so then I can stream unencumbered. Anyway, if Tateno's wisdom held true, the Syndicate must have some reason for what it was doing. Were they just trying to throw the investigators off their scent? No, that couldn't be it. They were wandering in circles, staying right in the same area. They were just running up the clock. What if it's exactly what they were after, buying time? Kind of felt a sudden conviction that he was on the right track. If they needed more time to make sure they got their hands on the ransom payment. That's it, the ransom. That's the word. That's the word. Wait, hold on. Could it be that the real case had already been switched out? The ransom money wasn't even in the case anymore. I'm pretty sure the real case was switched out. Could it be the real case had already been switched out? That made a certain amount of sense. By handing the case off to one accomplice after another, they were leading the detectives to pay more attention to the individuals than the case itself. That would enable them to swap the case while all the focus was elsewhere. Kano shared this hunch with Sasayama. I love the pictures in this game. I see. I mean, it is a possibility. Yeah, we might be following the wrong case. There was a palpable tension in the air now. Kano, Sasayama said, you gotta report into Kuze. On it! Kano's hand flashed to his wireless. But Kuze was dismissive. No, that's the case. I assure you. No offense, sir, but how can you be sure? Kuze sighed. Because that's my job. There's an ID tag in the case that allows us to keep tabs on it. There's no way these crooks could have whipped up a duplicate. ID tag? What ID tag? Wait, no, that's right. Kano had forgotten all about that detail in the wake of this all-nighter. Oh, right. Don't you all right me? Clearly you weren't hired for your brains. Focus on what you're good at. Kuze ended the call. Jimmy, hello. Still, Kano couldn't shake his conviction that something was off. How are you doing? Playing 428 Shibuya Scramble and trying to figure out what happened to the ransom money. The man with the attaché case made his way back to Shibuya Station. The heck? Sasayama grumbled. He's right back where we started. Kano felt his frustration growing. It honestly looked like the Syndicate was just randomly lugging the case around town. Near Shibuya Station, a girl approached the suspect. She was Japanese and entirely unlike any of the other criminal accomplices. She spoke to the man while showing him something on a notepad. He glanced at the pad but did not slow down. Within moments, he had left her behind. It looked like she just passed him a message. Well, that's sure fishy, Sasayama muttered. Doing good, just got back from the vet. Why were you at the vet? Oh, you mean for the dog, right. What, the girl? Asked Kano. Yeah. Wanna go hit her up? Sasayama could only mean one thing, questioning her. Yeah, let's go see what she knows. She can't be involved with this, can't? Yeah, let's see what she knows. Yeah, let's go see what she knows. Sasayama and Kano hurried over to the girl. Excuse me, miss, we'd like to ask you a few... Are you happy with your life? The young woman shouted. She thrust her notepad in Kano's face. Tell me this! Are you happy with your life right now? Huh? Looking at the notepad, Kano saw the same question written there in big, bold letters. The girl's eyes widened in surprise, as if she hadn't expected the two men to actually stop and listen. Right now, sir, she continued more quietly, are you happy? If so, if you could please take the survey about, about your life. Are you happy with it? The more she spoke, the more flustered she became. Sasayama stepped in. Hey, I need to know, did you speak with that Western fellow just now? Huh? No, that isn't what I'm asking. Sir, are you happy with your life right now? Are you happy with your life right now? Kind of got a sinking feeling in his stomach. This kid was looking for religious converts or something. Oh, that's people home. I'm gonna close my door now. Hooray, we're free. We're free from having to stop the stream. Sorry. You did speak with him, didn't you? Sasayama snapped. What did you tell him? The girl's rambling abruptly ceased. Her already ruddy face went even redder, and tears welled up in her eyes. Poor kid, Kano thought. She's just out here trying to get people to listen to her survey questions. There's no way she's part of this kidnapping plot. Look, miss, for the time being, it would be a good idea for you to leave the area. Afraid I'm not at liberty to explain. The girl's only response was to start sobbing outright. Oh boy. I can't do this anymore. I want to go home. Kano and Sasayama exchanged awkward glances. I want to go home. I want to go home. Passerby began shooting curious looks at the trio. Kano, you get back to work, Sasayama said. I'll escort this girl to the train station. He didn't quite manage to stifle the embarrassment in his voice. Right, Kano said. He hurried away, his eyes already searching for the suspect they'd been tailing. I would love to see what her story is. Didn't take long to find him. Man's black garb made him stand out in the crowd at the intersection. It occurred to Kano that all the criminals who had handled the attaché case had been wearing the same black clothing. The fact made the whole situation even weirder. Could they really be ignorant that they were being followed while they were all wearing the same eye-catching outfit? It was more like they were going out of their way to make sure the investigators spotted them. That still didn't provide any clues as to what they were after, though. The longer Kano kept tailing these guys, the less it all made sense. Was it really such a good idea to keep this up? Someone's life was in danger, and they were just letting the kidnappers carrying out their plan, whatever it was. The very first page of the Dick Diary spelled things loud and clear on that front. Dick dictum number 1, never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. Right now, the single most important thing was ensuring the hostage's safety. This was a situation where Tateno would have stuck to his guns for sure. Kano thought back to that day 3 years ago. A burglar had shut himself inside a financial office and doused the place in gasoline. Kano had just been put on the police box duty and was ordered to the scene because his box was just down the street from the standoff. What's the button to start? Nope, that's not it. There we go. Police box duty. No one's assigned to a detective post right after graduating from the police academy. Detective positions can be quite hard to come by. Candidates are selected for detective training only after accumulating enough experience working at the local police box, a very small type of neighborhood station manned only by a handful of officers. Alright. Several officers had surrounded the building, keeping close tabs on the situation. The suspect was shouting nonsense to the entrance on the first floor. Things were getting heated. A crowd of alarmed onlookers had started to form as well. Step aside, a voice said suddenly from amidst the throng. A middle-aged man in a rumpled business suit had approached Kano as he hovered nervously at the edge of the seat. I'm sorry, sir, Kano said. You have to stay back for your own safety. He attempted to usher the man back into the crowd. A no-nonsense look crossed the newcomer's face. He spoke in a low voice. I'm Detective Tateno from the Shibuya precinct. What's the situation? Oh, sir, I'm so sorry. Yes, of course. Kind of stammered, then he quickly explained. He hasn't taken any hostages, but there are still people on the upper floors of the building. Giving only a slightly nod, Tateno marched straight up to the building. The plastic container of gasoline the suspect had used was out on the ground out front. Tateno picked it up and dumped the remaining contents out over his head. Kano was at a loss for words. He couldn't believe what he was saying. I've covered myself in gasoline too, Tateno called out from the entryway. The tension in the air ratcheted itself up several notches. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? Kano heard the burglar shouting from inside. If you're gonna do it, Tateno called out. We could die together. And he walked into the building. All Kano could do was watch things unfold through the plate glass window. Tateno was talking to the burglar, but Kano couldn't make out the words. The crook was clutching a lighter, his hand trembling. His expression was that of a frightened child. Tateno slowly approached him and took firm hold of his shaking hand. The onlookers erupted into cheers and applause. Tateno handed the now docile suspect over to the detectives, then wearily sat down against a planter out front. It was like something ripped straight out of a police drama. That was amazing! Wow, she showed up like 5 minutes after. She showed up like 5 minutes after people got home. That was lucky. Okay, sorry. You're probably gonna hear her because she's very loud and my windows are very thin. That was amazing! Kano breathed. Yeah, you have to deal with guys like that as quickly as you can. You let a situation like this get even a little out of hand and you never know how things might go south on you. Tateno spoke quietly, as almost if he were talking to himself. As the police evacuated the rest of the building, Kano noticed that there are children and elderly people among them. If the perp had managed to set the fire, there would be no way they would have escaped in time. But, I mean, what if he'd actually set the place on fire? If someone's willing to risk their life, you're not going to convince them of anything unless you do the same. Kano still remembered the awe he'd felt at Tateno's matter-of-fact tone. Kano hadn't become a police officer out of any real sense of duty. He just thought it would make Rumi happy if he became a detective like her father. Oh yeah, that's his fiancée. Besides, civil servants tend to stay afloat in times of recession, and his time playing rugby meant he was in good physical shape for the job. He never really thought too much about protecting the citizenry or keeping the peace. But now, here he was in the presence of a detective who'd literally risked his life in the line of duty without a second thought. A police officer never loses sight of what he's supposed to protect. Ever. Getting back to his feet, Tateno tugged off his gasoline-drenched coat and walked away. Kano wrote the words in a notebook he just purchased. Thus, the Dick Diary was born. Thinking back to the way Tateno had put his life on the line to rescue a bunch of strangers made Kano feel all the more raw about tailing the syndicate members. Letting the crooks just wander around wasn't going to bring Maria Osawa to safety. Of that, Kano was now certain. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. He uttered the fundamental dictum out loud. Well, you lost sight of it completely, a voice said out of nowhere. What? Kano spun around. It was Shizuo. Rumi was with him. Sir? Kano stuttered. Weren't you supposed to be waiting at the cafe for... Oh, that's his future father-in-law. Oh, this is bad. This man hates him. There was some lowlife there, so we left. Oh, is that when the other guy, Achi, was there? Okay. Rumi's dad looked plenty mean under ordinary circumstances. Right now, he looked like a man possessed. Oh, I beg your pardon. I'm still on duty at the moment. I'm going back home, Shizuo huffed. You're not marrying my daughter. He turned to walk away. No, please just wait. I'm done waiting. Now I'm going home. Please don't do this. Just hear me out. I've heard all I need to hear from you. Rumi, we're leaving. Dad, please. Goodbye. Seizing his daughter by the hand, Shizuo stormed off without another word, dragging her behind. Shinya! She called out over her shoulder. Rumi! She was gone. Rumi was gone. Kano desperately wanted to go after her, but he hesitated in an agony of indecision. I can't turn my back on my responsibilities. I'm a detective. My work has to be my first priority. Going after Rumi isn't what a good detective would do. Oh, Detective Tateno, what should I do? Tateno, Still, the dictum echoed in his mind. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. I... 6 months later? Well, damn. Where did I go wrong here? Oh no! 6 months later. Kano made his way through the small corner of a vast field in Nagano countryside. Slowly and leisurely, he tilled the soil. What the heck happened? I'm a farmer now? He surprised himself with his own newfound enthusiasm for organic farming, learning more from Shizuo day after day. What, really? His father-in-law had taught him the ways of farming from the ground up, and while things had been rocky between them at first, their friendship is now growing strong. What the heck happened? Pausing to wipe his brow, he smiled at the acreage around him. He looked forward to tending the crops he'd sown until harvest came around. If he'd stayed on as a detective, he might well never have known the joy he now found in his work. And this wasn't the only seed Kano had planted. Oh. By the time harvest season came around, the new life growing within his dear Rumi's belly would be ready to celebrate it with them. Okay, you're going for the literal. Calm down, game. Okay, that was a bad ending. Yeah, apparently where we got married. What's the hint? Kano went after Rumi and Shizuo, proving his devotion and earning her hand in marriage. Now he's a farmer in Nagano, and his crime in Tokyo is someone else's problem. But hang on a sec. Why weren't Rumi and Shizuo waiting at the cafe like they were supposed to be? Well, there's no way for Kano to know about how one man's bit of curiosity at that cafe led to this strange twist of fate. Oh boy. Alright, so let's go. That sounds like we're getting a bad ending until we do something with Achi there. Time chart. Yeah. Okay. So as Achi sounds like he's the weirdo. So let's go here and see if we can maybe fix whatever the heck we just ruined in Kano's timeline. So Achi and Hitomi. Hitomi is the kidnapping, the kidnapped woman, or she was part of another attempted kidnapping or whatever. But yeah, Achi and she are trying to get away from a bunch of people who keep trying to shoot them. Achi and Hitomi scampered through the back roads along Center Guy, white sneakers and pumps slapping on the pavement. Achi kept his eyes peeled, continually checking ahead and behind as they darted through the gaps between buildings. Finally, they stopped in a narrow alley. "There's no way he'll find us here," he said. "No one knows about this place." He took another look around, then let out a sigh of relief. It seemed they managed to shake the gunman for now. Back when Achi was with SOS, he had come through Center Guy practically every day. SOS is the abbreviation of Studs of Shibuya, the name given to a group by Achi when he founded it. Originally just a bunch of like-minded young people hanging out together, has since become known as a gang that picks fights around Shibuya. The gang had started out as a little more than a group of local teens. They didn't do much in particular, just horsing around and killing time. What mattered was that they were having fun. But it wasn't long before it wasn't all fun and games. Achi couldn't help but notice the slobs were making a mess of Shibuya, dirtying it all up. He wasn't about to let them get away with it. Most frequently, it was folks who tossed cigarette butts out in the street or plastered walls in graffiti. When they didn't respond to his more gentle warnings, he found slightly more forceful ways of getting his point across. SOS got a reputation. Street punks started trying to pick fights with its members. These guys required a bit more force to handle. When it came to the worst of the lot, the drug dealers, the muggers, the guys who tried to force themselves on women, it was full-on battle, no holds barred. Before long, SOS had established itself as something of a vigilante corps. Soon it became known as one of the biggest gangs in Shibuya. "Let's lie down here for a bit and see what happens," Achi said. The alley where they hid was like a dimly lit chasm obscuring them from view. The only problem now was figuring out what to do next. They needed to find that blue van again, which meant figuring out the best way to get back to Doganzaka without the man in the cane catching them once more. Man with the cane. "Achi?" Hitomi whispered. "Huh?" "I think I can handle myself from here." She got to her feet and gave Achi a deep bow. "Whoa!" Achi held up a hand. "We've been over this already. You're not going to be okay. This guy has a gun. If he let her go up against that assassin alone, he might as well be the one to pull the trigger himself." "Thank you so much for everything you've done for me," Hitomi continued as if she hadn't heard him. She started to shuffle out of the alleyway. "Hey, what'd I just say?" "Really, Achi, I appreciate your concern, but I can't in good conscience put you in danger anymore." "But, I mean..." Achi tried to press the point, but Hitomi cut him off. "There's no good reason for you to risk yourself to keep helping me." Her tone was resolute. Achi knew he had a point. He decided to back. No, Achi was determined to help her anyway. He refused to back down. "Look, I want to help people who are in trouble. What's so wrong about that?" "Huh?" He locked eyes with Hitomi, willing her to understand. "I'm not the most dependable guy, I know that. But still, Hitomi dropped her gaze and Achi trailed off, feeling like an idiot. "Oh, it's no use. I'm no use. I'm no use," he hung his head with a sigh. Uh-oh. Just then, a bit of light shone into the alleyway from above. It looked like someone on the adjacent building's upper floor had turned on the lights. Let's see who someone is. Oh my god. It's Tama. Wow, what are the chances? Are we jumping? Are we jumping? We can't. We can't jump to Tama right now, unfortunately. But we're gonna have to keep that one in mind. There we go. Building. The Nokane building, this multi-tenant building, has 7 floors, but a decade-old urban legend tells a mysterious 13th floor. The Diet Aid sales demo is being held on one of the upper floors today. Oh my god. What are the chances they landed there? The light illuminated Hitomi's face. When Achi saw the look in her eyes, he reconsidered his decision. She was trying her hardest to hide it, but she was clearly terrified. No way he was letting her go back out there alone. Still, if he tried to insist, she would only refuse him again. "Hitomi, humor me for a second here. Tell me, what's the proper way to dispose of a plastic bottle?" She stared at him in surprise. Well, first you remove the cap and the wrapper. Then you rinse out the inside and crush it." Achi let out a breath he'd been holding. "Okay, good." "Huh? I don't understand. What's good?" "You gave me my reason why I have to help you out. I super respect people who respect the environment. I'm one of those whatchamacallits, environmentalist." Achi pointed at his mean, clean t-shirt. Hitomi hesitated. "And what was your plan if I'd said the answer was to toss the plastic in with the trash?" "Well, then I need to stick with you to help teach you. Environmental awareness begins with good education." "So then you're going to tag along with me regardless." "Look, I'm just super pumped to learn that you care so much about proper recycling." Hachi cracked a huge grin. "Okay then." "Okay?" "Okay then, okay? If you're really that sure about it, I guess I could use your help a little while longer." Hitomi flashed him a little smile. "And she's so cute," Achi thought. Then something else caught his eye. "Huh? What's that there?" It looked like something black was stuck to the top of her head. Achi, what are you staring at? You got something stuck there. What, on my head? Without thinking, Hitomi reached up and plucked it off. It was about 10 centimeters long, its body a glistening black, sporting feelers and several pairs of legs. It began to writhe and wriggle between Hitomi's slender fingers. Ah! Achi yelled, "It's a cockroach!" He jumped backward, but Hitomi didn't so much as flinch. Sorry, that gave me a bit of a start, he continued. Guess it must have fallen out from one of the windows up there. Still, Hitomi did not move. Uh-oh. Hitomi? She didn't appear to hear him. Hello, Hitomi? With muffled gurgle, Hitomi passed out on the spot, her body stiff as a mannequin. Oh no. What? Hitomi, are you okay? Hitomi! 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 But no matter how loudly Achi called her name, Hitomi would not come to. Is this a bad ending because the cockroach came out of the building? That would be so funny. Okay, it's not. If I had to do Tama's route just to make sure that cockroach didn't fall. No, it is! It is! From that day onward, Achi devoted even more of his time and energy to collecting trash. Oh my god, it became his personal passion to see his city was a clean one, devoid of cockroaches. That was the mandate he had been handed, or if nothing else, his atonement. Oh my god. What happened? Did she die? The cockroach. What? Hitomi passed out after a cockroach fell on her head from nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere exactly. Hitomi and Achi, hello Jackie by the way, were right underneath the Nokani building where they'd been selling Burning Hammer. A cat and a cockroach had been fighting it out on one of the upper floors. The cat was victorious, but if it had run away instead, things would have turned out differently down below. Oh my god. Alright. We're going to Tama's route and making sure she doesn't fight a cockroach. God. Tama, what's going on with you? In 1 hour, the burning sales demo will begin. Cheery is laying out the assortment of this game is beautiful. Honestly, yes. This game is so ridiculous sometimes. Like, it gets super serious and then something like that happens. Cheery is laying out the assortment of snacks that we'll have on hand. Hey Tama, you hungry? Why, yes I am. I mean, that should be pretty obvious at this point. We're still stuck in the mascot outfit. All I've had since putting on the stupid mascot costume is some burning hammer and a bunch of iced tea. Hey now, Cheery shoots back. What's with that attitude? Cheery, you do remember that you ate my lunch, right? The sticker said it was best before noon. You just made that up! Yeah. Cheery chortles merrily and chugs some more iced tea. Okay, folks, Mr. Yanagashita calls out as he slips into the room. Lunch break's over! Back to work! It's that guy. He's the guy in the GIF that I put on Twitter. I don't feel like I've had much of a break. If anything, I'm more mentally exhausted than I was before. There's a box full of Anagachi toys in the storeroom on the 3rd floor. Am I going to bring these down? Anagachi? I ask, what's that? The name makes it sound like some sort of product knockoff. Mr. Yanagashita's face widens in surprise. You've never heard of them? It's a Tamagotchi. You know, Anagachi, it's a digital pet game where you raise an eel that lives in Tokyo Bay. A portable electronic game in which you raise a conger eel on a go. Oh, I get it. Feeding it daily and clearing away feces. Depending on how you raise your eel, it can wind up developing into various forms from normal eel to ultimate eel sushi. You can also use the infrared communication feature to bring over friends for your eel from another nearby Anagachi device. Or Anagochi, I guess. Anagochi. There is also a sister product, Trout Watch. By connecting the two, you can view a special event where the eel and trout characters go to a pub together. I know this isn't real, but I desperately need it to be. Never heard of it, I say. Well, I guess maybe a lot of people in Japan haven't heard of it yet, but it's all the rage right now with youngsters over in New York City. New York City? Oh, he must mean NYC? Oh, he must mean New York City. It's popular in New York? Really? Anyway, I did some quick checking. That's all what I learned. So last month I bought a whole bunch of them. So this guy's like a scam artist. And once again, you were swindled. Yep. Ouch, Cheery dropping the hard truth. Mr. Yanagishita lets out a pathetic whimper. No! Oh, just like that's confidence evaporates, he starts muttering to himself. I thought it sounded a little fishy, really. I mean, think about it. Why would kids in New York be interested in raising eels in Tokyo Bay? He muses. And what appeal would an eel character even have? None, that's what. I should have known that. I did know it. Then why'd you buy them? This farce is getting tiresome. Anyway, Yanagishita continues, it was gonna cost way too much to keep them in storage, so I was just gonna let the recycling guy take them. He hangs his head in shame. In a matter of moments, he's borderline catatonic. The type of eel that gives Anagochi its name, Anago, can be loosely translated as the creature that lives in a hole. Mr. Yanagishita is probably wishing he could crawl into a hole right about now. I love these annotations so much. Sometimes they help you, and sometimes they're just absolutely plain ridiculous. Cheery, on the other hand, flashes a big bright grin. Still, you know, eel's pretty delicious. Oh, Cheery, Yanagishita blurts. Thank you. He clasps her hands in gratitude. Boss, I wasn't exactly complimenting you there, boss. It's the same thing. There's a little bit of me in each of my products. Anagochi and I are one and the same. A brief Anagochi gameplay clip. The trick is to feed your eel proper food and give it proper exercise. Another important strategy tip is to make sure to obtain the sharp chef's knife when you visit Kababashi Kitchen Town partway through the game. What's the... Oh. There we go. Oh god. Oh my god. You just kill your eel. Which is to say, eels and I are one and the same. Go on then, say something nice about eels. Cheery chimes right in without missing a beat. Eels are awesome. When it comes to eel sushi, 100 pieces barely whets my appetite. You know, these two make quite a pair. That really means a lot to me, Cheery. Thank you, thank you. I don't understand what any of this is about, but if it helps mend Mr. Yanagishita's wounded spirits, I guess I can't complain. I leave them to their devices and head for the storeroom. I'd buy that. I would also, but I don't know how long I'd play it for. The storeroom door opens with a rough grating sound. Okay, now where's the light switch? I fumble around in the dark, feeling for the switch box. My costume's paws mute the sensation in my hands enough that even finding that is difficult. I bat at the wall willy-nilly until eventually the lights come on. Apparently I found the switch, even if I didn't feel it. Whoa, what the heck is this? The store was practically overflowing with shoddy goods. A painting that looks like a child's scribblings, an oddly shaped hat bearing the words "Grow 2 inches, guaranteed." A cheap-looking pendant with a tag that says it's set with a miracle stone. Miracle stone. These stones are nothing more than simple glass beads that were purchased at 5,000 yen apiece. The seller claimed, normally these sell for 10,000 a pop, but if you buy 100 of them, I'll give you half off. At which the buyer declared, it really is a miracle, before joyfully agreeing to this purchase. The fact that someone like Yanagishita actually exists to buy these things up is also kind of a miracle. It's like this is the knockoff boneyard where cheap products go to die. They break away from their pathetic herd knowing their time has come and end up in this graveyard of a storeroom. Let's see, Anagochi. I quickly spy the cardboard box I'm looking for. Then I catch sight of a dark silhouette out of the corner of my eye. Eek! I yelp. Oh boy, there it is. It's one of them. Black, flat, quick, long antennae, often spotted in kitchens. Sometimes, somehow, their legs wind up in restaurant food. The size, the speed, the dark shape, it couldn't be anything else. It peers back at me from the shadow of the Onigotchi box, the faint light catching the luster of its carapace. It looks ready to leap out at me any moment. I need to act fast. Okay, so challenging it to single combat is the bad end, so let's make a run for it. I snatch up the cardboard box and make a run for it. I made it! When I get back to the break room, Mr. Yanagashita is still clutching Chiri's hands. An eel's super tasty when you salt broil it too. Thank you! But tempura style is probably the best. Thank you! When Mr. Yanagashita's spirits have certainly... Well, Mr. Yanagashita's spirits have certainly turned around. Okay, got it. I hold out the big cardboard box. Excellent, thank you. You girls are the greatest, Yanagashita shouts. His voice resounds with gratitude. Hey, that's it! I got an amazing idea! Why don't the three of us start our own company? I'll pass. Chiri and I respond in unison. This is a beautiful picture. Man, you two shot that one down quick. Well, for today, let's just focus on selling Burning Hammer. By the way, I ask, where is the Burning Hammer? There wasn't any to store him, and I don't see any here either. Oh, that's right. It's out back in the floating dock. You should probably bring it in. And bring the Onigotchis with you too. The recycling guy's gonna be showing up soon. The loading dock. Did I say floating dock? Loading dock. God, I can't read. Come on, let's go! Chiri and I follow Mr. Yanagashita out to the loading dock. I was like, floating dock? We're in the middle of Shibuya. I can't believe it. But the loading dock, it turns out, is empty. There's no sign of the Burning Hammer anywhere. It's gone, Mr. Yanagashita murmurs. Then his voice rises to a shout. It's gone! All gone! The Burning Hammer, it's all gone! Flying into panic, he searches frantically from one end of the dock to the other, leaping into the air, even peering down into the cracks. But no matter where he looks, there's nothing for him to find. It was right here a little while ago, like right here! Right here! I hear the sound of an engine revving outside. Oh, Mr. Yanagashita cries out in alarm. We can see a truck starting to pull away. The bed is piled high with cardboard boxes and other assorted trash. Hey, boss, is that? Yes, there it is! Mr. Yanagashita begins racing after the truck. My burning hammer! His voice cracks as he cries out, give it back, give it back! But he's no match for a speeding truck, and the box of burning hammer vanishes before his eyes. Burning hammer! Come back! Come back! Yanagashita's wailing echoes from the surrounding buildings. It's like something out of a movie. What the hell? What's up with that truck? Tama! Who the heck was that? Hey, don't look at me, I reply. Huh? With all those piles of stuff, it looked like the recycling guy. As soon as he said that, revelation dawns on his face. The recycling guy, he mutters. I can see the color draining from his face. The words recycling guy give me an idea. If it was him, maybe he thought he was picking up the Onigotchis by We have to find it! We have to find the truck! The man's absolutely beside himself. Chiri! Tama! You just split up and try to track it down! Wait, why did we have to look for it? Again, Chiri and I speak in chorus. If there's no sales demo, there's no money to pay you. And all the work you've done will be for nothing. Right, when he puts it that way, I guess there isn't much of a choice. Somehow or another, we'll have to find that truck. You can't have gotten far, he continues. No, go hunt for it like your life depended on it. Chiri and I look at each other and sigh. How do you want to do this, she asks. Want to search together or should we split up? Let's split up. We should split up. Chiri and I go our separate ways searching for a truck full of junk. I make my way to Center Guy. Oh, sorry. I was so focused on searching all over, as I walk up, I lose track of where I'm going, and I wind up bumping into a man who's hurrying along with his daughter. Teruo and Hana Toyama. They came to Center Guy to eat lunch. Before that, they were at the Heaven Publishing in Shibuya, Wonchom. While wandering around distractedly looking for somewhere cheap and tasty, Mr. Toyama bumped right into Tama. Isn't Heaven Publishing where the other part of the story is going on? Oh, pardon me. I hopped back to my feet and bowed to the man in apology. Bong. Oh! He bows at the same time. We managed to bonk our heads together. Sorry. As her dad drops to his knees, clutching his head, the girl begins to wander off. Hey! Hey, Hannah, wait! The man lurches to his feet and rushes after the girl. She seems like an odd kid, only 10 or so, but strangely cold and distant for her age. Nursing my own sore head, I make it all the way to Shibuya Station, but there's no sign of the truck. I'll probably never find it just by wandering around randomly. It's already 12:35. The sales demo starts in 25 minutes. I have serious doubts I'll be able to find the truck by then. Ah! What should I do? Oh. So we're locked out over here.